Ashley's face went completely blank the second Yandy brought up the word marriage. Not dating, not loyalty, marriage. And the silence that followed inside that private dinner spot in Atlanta had everybody around them pretending not to listen while secretly listening harder than ever. Because the moment Yandy leaned forward and said, "You keep acting like a wife to a man who still moves single," Ashley nearly knocked her drink over trying to respond. That is when everything changed. Sources close to the cast say this conversation was never supposed to happen on camera. Producers allegedly thought the women were meeting for a calm girls' night after weeks of tension inside the group. But emotions ran high almost immediately after Ashley admitted she had been questioning everything about her relationship behind closed doors. According to insiders, Ashley revealed that late-night phone calls, hidden messages, and rumors from mutual friends had been eating away at her peace for months. And Yandy? She did not hold back. She told Ashley the truth nobody else wanted to say, one insider claimed. And Ashley was not ready for it. Fans are shocked after leaked details suggested Ashley accused certain people in the circle of secretly knowing about her relationship problems while smiling in her face the entire time. But things got even messier when Yandy reportedly questioned whether Ashley's man was using marriage promises to keep her emotionally trapped. The entire table froze. Then came the statement that reportedly left the family divided. "You're fighting for a future he already decided he doesn't want." Ashley looked stunned. Witnesses claim her voice started shaking as she fired back, accusing Yandy of crossing boundaries and disrespecting her relationship in public. But Yandy stood firm, insisting she was tired of watching women lose themselves trying to prove loyalty to men giving half the effort. And just when it seemed the argument could not get more intense, a phone notification allegedly exposed a secret Ashley had been hiding from everyone. Ashley kept staring at the phone sitting face down beside her plate like it was about to explode at any second. Everybody at the table could feel the tension thickening after Yandy's comment about her relationship, but nobody expected Ashley to suddenly grab her purse and stand up like she was about to walk out. Her chair scraped hard across the floor, turning heads across the restaurant, and for a second it looked like she was done with the conversation completely. But Yandy was not letting her escape that easily. "Sit down and stop pretending everything's perfect," Yandy said calmly, even though her eyes were locked on Ashley with the kind of seriousness that made the entire room uncomfortable. "You asked me for honesty months ago. Now you mad because I'm finally giving it to you." Ashley slowly turned around, clearly fighting back tears, and sat back down while the other women exchanged nervous glances. One of them quietly whispered, "This is getting bad," while another reached for her drink just to avoid making eye contact. Ashley leaned closer toward Yandy and lowered her voice, but the anger in her tone was impossible to hide. "You acting like you know my relationship better than me," she snapped. "You don't know what happens behind closed doors." Yandy did not even blink. "Exactly," she replied, "because every time something happens, you cover for him." The entire table froze again. Ashley looked caught off guard for a split second before shaking her head in disbelief. "That's not true," she fired back quickly. "You sitting here judging me like your marriage has always been perfect." That comment instantly changed the energy. Yandy's face tightened, and one of the girls quietly muttered, "Oh no," under her breath because everybody knew Ashley had just crossed into dangerous territory. Yandy slowly placed her fork down and leaned back in her chair. "See, that's the problem," she said coldly. "Every time somebody tries to help you, you turn it into an attack." Ashley laughed bitterly. "Help me? Calling my man fake in front of everybody is helping me?" Before Yandy could answer, Ashley's phone suddenly lit up on the table again. Everybody's eyes moved toward the screen automatically. Ashley panicked and grabbed it too late because Yandy had already seen the name flashing across it. The silence afterward was brutal. Yandy stared at Ashley for a long moment before saying, "So that's who's been calling you all night." Ashley immediately locked the phone and shoved it into her purse, but the damage was already done. "It's not what you think," she said quickly. But nobody believed her. One of the women looked genuinely confused. "Wait, I thought y'all stopped talking months ago." Ashley looked trapped. Her breathing got heavier, and suddenly she seemed less angry and more nervous. Yandy folded her arms. "You see why I said what I said now?" she asked the group. "She's sitting here crying over one man while entertaining another one behind the scenes." Ashley slammed her hand against the table so hard the silverware rattled. "Don't do that," she warned. "Don't try to embarrass me on camera," but Yandy refused to back down. "Then stop acting innocent," she shot back. "Because from what I'm hearing, your man isn't the only one hiding things." Ashley's eyes widened immediately. "What exactly are you hearing?" Yandy hesitated for a second, then looked directly at her. I heard somebody saw you with your ex at a hotel downtown 3 weeks ago. The entire table erupted into shocked reactions. One woman covered her mouth while another immediately asked, "Are you serious?" Ashley looked completely stunned before bursting into angry laughter. "Wow," she said slowly. "So now we making up stories?" But Yandy stayed calm. "I didn't make anything up. I said what I heard." Ashley stood up again, this time visibly shaking with anger. "And who told you that?" she demanded. Yandy shrugged. "Does it matter?" Ashley pointed directly at her. "Yes, it matters because now you trying to paint me like I'm cheating when you know damn well what my relationship has been through this year." Emotions ran high as people nearby began openly staring at the table. One producer reportedly stepped closer, sensing the situation might spiral completely out of control. Ashley grabbed her purse again and looked around the table with watery eyes. "This is exactly why I don't open up to people," she said bitterly. "Because y'all wait until cameras are around to throw my pain back in my face." For a second, the room almost softened toward her. Even Yandy looked conflicted, but then one of the women quietly asked Ashley the question nobody else wanted to say out loud. "If the rumors aren't true, then why did you hide the phone?" Ashley froze instantly. The silence after that question was deafening. Her mouth opened slightly, but no words came out. And that hesitation alone changed everything. Yandy noticed it too. "There it is," she whispered. "That look right there." Ashley shook her head repeatedly. "You trying to twist this into something ugly," she said. But now even the others seemed unsure what to believe. Another woman carefully asked, "Are you still talking to your ex?" Ashley exhaled deeply and rubbed her forehead before finally sitting back down. "He reached out after hearing me and my man were having problems," she admitted quietly. "That's it." But Yandy was not buying it. "Men don't book hotel suites just to talk," she replied immediately. Ashley's head snapped up. Who said anything about a hotel suite? The second those words left her mouth, everybody at the table reacted at once because Ashley had accidentally confirmed more than she meant to. Yandy slowly leaned forward with a look of disbelief across her face. "See what happens when people lie too much," she said. "Eventually they expose themselves." Ashley realized what she had done and instantly tried to recover. "I only said that because you mentioned a hotel," she argued desperately. But now the group was fully invested. Questions started flying everywhere. "Did you meet him or not? Does your man know? Was this before or after the breakup rumors?" Ashley looked overwhelmed as voices piled on top of each other. Finally she yelled, "Everybody stop." Loud enough to silence the entire table. Her chest was rising rapidly as tears formed in her eyes. "Y'all have no idea what I've been dealing with," she said emotionally. "Every single day I wake up trying to save a relationship that keeps breaking me apart." For the first time all night, her voice sounded genuinely exhausted instead of angry. Even Yandy softened slightly as Ashley continued speaking. "I've defended this man in front of everybody," she admitted. "Friends, family, social media, everybody. And the whole time I kept praying he would finally become the person he promised me he'd be." She paused, wiping tears from her face while the others listened silently. "But lately, I don't even recognize him anymore." The table went quiet again. Then Yandy asked the question that changed the entire conversation once more. "Did he cheat again?" Ashley looked down at the table for several long seconds before finally whispering one word. "Maybe." The second Ashley said, "Maybe," the energy around the table completely shifted. Nobody moved. Nobody even reached for their drinks anymore. The women just stared at her while she kept her eyes locked on the table like she was trying not to fall apart in front of everybody. Yandy's expression softened for the first time all night, but there was still frustration underneath it. "What do you mean maybe?" she asked carefully. Ashley laughed bitterly through tears and shook her head. "Because every time I confront him, he twists everything around until I start questioning myself," she admitted. "One minute I think I'm crazy, the next minute I find another message, another late-night call, another woman claiming they've been around him." One of the girls quietly whispered, "Damn," while another leaned back looking completely stunned. Ashley rubbed her hands together nervously before continuing. "Do you know what it feels like waking up every morning wondering if the person beside you is lying straight to your face?" she asked. "Because that kind of stress changes you." Yandy nodded slowly. "That's exactly why I said what I said earlier," she replied. "You've been carrying this relationship by yourself." But Ashley's emotions were all over the place now. One second she looked hurt, the next second defensive again. "But I still love him," she admitted quietly. And that's the sick part. The women exchanged looks because they could all hear how broken she sounded. Ashley wiped under her eyes carefully so she would not ruin her makeup completely. Every time I try to leave, he pulls me back in, she confessed. He cries, apologizes, promises therapy, promises change, promises marriage, promises everything. Yandy immediately leaned forward. That's what I've been trying to tell you, she said. Some men use marriage like a reward they never actually plan to give. Ashley looked away instantly because deep down she knew that comment hit too close to home. One of the girls cautiously asked, so has he actually proposed yet or is it still just conversations? Ashley hesitated. He bought a ring, she answered softly. The table reacted immediately. Wait, what? Then why are y'all still fighting like this? Ashley gave a painful smile. Because I found out he bought the ring 2 months after another woman exposed him online. The entire group exploded into shocked reactions again. Yandy closed her eyes for a second like she was physically tired of hearing Ashley excuse bad behavior. Girl, she muttered under her breath. Ashley continued talking before anybody could interrupt. At first I thought the ring meant he was serious about changing, she admitted. But now I honestly think he only did it because he was scared I would leave. Emotions ran high as one woman asked the question everybody watching would probably be thinking. Do you even want to marry him anymore? Ashley froze again. This time the silence lasted even longer. Finally she whispered, I don't know. Yandy looked genuinely heartbroken hearing that answer. That's sad, she said quietly. Because marriage should never feel like a prison sentence. Ashley stared out toward the restaurant windows while cameras reportedly captured tears sliding down her face. You know what hurts the most? She said after a long pause. Everybody thinks I'm weak for staying. Nobody interrupted her this time. Social media drags me every single week, she continued. People call me desperate, pathetic, dumb. But nobody understands what happens when you build your whole future around somebody. Her voice cracked badly on the last sentence. I gave this man years of my life. One of the women finally reached across the table and grabbed Ashley's hand while Yandy listened quietly. Sometimes leaving feels like admitting you wasted your time, Ashley admitted. And I'm terrified of that feeling. Yandy slowly nodded because for the first time all night, she finally understood where Ashley's anger was really coming from. But staying with somebody who keeps hurting you wastes even more time, Yandy replied softly. Ashley looked down again, clearly struggling with everything emotionally. Then suddenly her phone buzzed again inside her purse. The table immediately went silent. Ashley closed her eyes in frustration before pulling the phone out slowly. Her entire expression changed the second she read the message. What happened? One of the girls asked nervously. Ashley did not answer right away. She just kept staring at the screen looking completely shaken. Yandy finally reached over slightly. Ashley? Ashley swallowed hard before whispering, he knows I'm here. Immediately the women started reacting again. How? Who told him? What did he say? Ashley hesitated before reading the message out loud. Stop talking about our relationship on camera before you embarrass both of us. The entire table erupted. Oh hell no. See, that's controlling. Why is he watching right now? Ashley looked panicked now. He's probably furious, she admitted. Yandy folded her arms instantly. Good, she said bluntly. Maybe he should feel uncomfortable after everything he's put you through, but Ashley's anxiety was visibly building fast. She started typing a response before Yandy suddenly stopped her. Don't text him right now, Yandy warned. That's the problem. Every time he snaps his fingers, you panic. Ashley looked defensive again. I'm not panicking. Yandy raised an eyebrow. You literally shaking. Ashley immediately put the phone down harder than she intended. Because I already know what tonight is gonna turn into, she admitted angrily. He's gonna accuse me of embarrassing him, then we're gonna fight all night, then somehow I'll end up apologizing even though he's the one who caused all this. One of the women quietly said, that sounds toxic as hell. Ashley laughed sadly. It is toxic. Suddenly another notification appeared across her phone screen before she could flip it over. This time everybody saw it clearly. A picture message. From another woman. The entire table gasped at once. Ashley snatched the phone up so fast her chair almost tipped backward. Who was that? Somebody asked immediately. Ashley looked horrified now. Nobody, she answered too quickly. Yandy stood up slightly from her chair. Ashley. But Ashley was already trying to gather her things again. I need to go, she muttered. No, Yandy said firmly. Because now something's clearly wrong. Ashley looked trapped all over again as the women pressed her for answers. Finally one of them asked the question directly. Was that the woman he cheated with? Ashley's eyes instantly filled with tears again. Then she slowly shook her head. Worse, she whispered. Everybody waited. Ashley's voice dropped lower as she stared at the phone in her trembling hands. That's his cousin's girlfriend. Confusion spread around the table immediately. Wait, what? Ashley looked physically sick now. She just sent me screenshots. The women leaned forward together. Screenshots of what? Ashley hesitated for several painful seconds before finally saying the words nobody expected to hear. Screenshots of him telling another woman he was planning to leave me after filming Wrapped. The moment Ashley said, after filming Wrapped, the entire table went dead silent again, but this time it was different. Nobody looked confused anymore. Everybody looked like they finally understood the full weight of what was happening. Yandy slowly sat back down, her face tightening as she processed it. So he's been playing a long game, she said quietly. Ashley nodded without looking up from her phone. Her hands were shaking so badly she could barely hold it steady. He told her everything, Ashley whispered. Plans, timing, even how he would handle me when cameras were around. One of the women gasped softly, covering her mouth. Another leaned forward instantly. Are you sure those screenshots are real? Ashley finally looked up, eyes red and exhausted. They have dates, voice notes, everything. That answer changed the tone completely. Yandy exhaled slowly, like she was trying to keep herself calm. That's not just cheating, she said. That's calculated. Ashley let out a broken laugh. And I defended him, she said. I defended him in front of everybody like he was misunderstood. Her voice cracked as she leaned forward, elbows on the table. I fought women online for him. I cut off friends for him. I ignored my own gut for him. The table stayed quiet, letting her speak now without interruption. Ashley wiped her face quickly. And he was just planning my exit like I was a storyline. Yandy's expression softened again, but her voice stayed steady. Ashley, listen to me, she said. You are not crazy. You are reacting to information that finally makes sense. Ashley shook her head slowly. I don't even know what part of my life was real anymore. That line hit the group hard. One of the women reached for her hand again, but Ashley pulled slightly back, overwhelmed. He used marriage, Ashley continued, voice shaking. He used the ring, the promises, the future talk, everything just to keep me calm while he was already planning his exit. Yandy leaned forward again. Did he ever actually deny anything when you confronted him? Ashley hesitated. He always said I was insecure, she admitted. Or that people were trying to break us up. Yandy nodded slowly. Classic deflection. Ashley looked up at her sharply. So you're saying this is intentional? Yandy didn't hesitate. I'm saying the pattern is intentional. The women around them started reacting again, whispering under their breath. This is crazy, one said. I knew something was off, said another. Ashley suddenly pushed her chair back slightly, like she couldn't sit still anymore. So what am I supposed to do? She asked Yandy directly. Walk away and just accept that everything was fake? Yandy looked at her for a long moment before answering. You don't accept it, she said. You process it, then you decide if you still want to stay in something that clearly doesn't respect you. Ashley's eyes filled again, but this time it wasn't just sadness. It was confusion mixed with anger. But if I leave now, she said, he wins. Yandy tilted her head slightly. Wins what? Ashley struggled to answer. He gets to move on like nothing happened, she said. He gets to say I was the problem. Yandy's voice softened. He already plans to say that no matter what you do. That statement hit Ashley harder than anything else. She leaned back slowly, staring at the ceiling for a moment like she was trying not to break down completely. The other women stayed quiet, watching her process everything in real time. Then suddenly Ashley's phone lit up again. This time it was a video call request. The name on the screen made her freeze instantly. Yandy saw it immediately. Don't answer that, she said quickly. But Ashley's thumb hovered over the screen anyway. Her breathing got heavier as the phone kept ringing. He's calling me, she whispered. Yandy leaned in. Let him call, she insisted. You don't owe him access to you right now. Ashley's eyes stayed locked on the screen. The ringing continued. Once, twice, 3 times. Finally it stopped, but immediately another message came through. This one short, blunt, visible to everyone nearby as Ashley turned the phone slightly without meaning to. If you keep talking, I will tell them everything you begged me to forget. The table erupted instantly. Oh my God, he's threatening her now? This is getting dangerous. Ashley's face went pale. She slowly lowered the phone, her hands trembling worse than before. Yandy stood up fully this time, her voice firm. No, she said, this is where it stops. Ashley looked up at her, terrified. You don't understand, she said quietly. If he starts talking, it will ruin everything I built. Yandy shook her head firmly. No, she replied. He is trying to control you with fear. Ashley swallowed hard, looking completely torn between panic and realization. The women around them were now fully engaged, some shocked, some angry, some just stunned into silence. Yandy stepped closer. Whatever he thinks he can expose, she said, does not matter more than your peace. Ashley's lips trembled as she finally whispered, but what if he's right about me? The question hung in the air for a long moment. Even Yandy paused before answering. Then she said softly, that's exactly what he wants you to believe, and for the first time that night, Ashley did not argue back. Ashley stayed silent for a long moment, staring at the phone like it had turned into something heavier than glass and metal. Her breathing was uneven, and the noise of the restaurant around them felt far away, like it did not belong to her life anymore. Yandy watched her closely, arms still crossed but her expression softer now, as if she was trying to decide whether to push harder or pull back. You need to stop reading his messages right now, Yandy said quietly. Ashley did not respond. Her thumb hovered over the screen again, then pulled away, then hovered again. It looked like she was stuck between fear and habit. One of the women at the table leaned in carefully. Ashley, maybe just block him for tonight, she suggested gently. Ashley let out a shaky laugh. Block him? She repeated. You don't understand. If I block him, he shows up. That line made the table go quiet again. Yandy narrowed her eyes slightly. So he shows up, she said. And then what? Ashley looked up slowly. Then it becomes a scene, she answered. And then I'm the one who looks crazy. Yandy shook her head once. No, she said firmly. That is not how this works anymore. Ashley's jaw tightened. You don't get it, she said again, voice rising. You think it's that simple because you're not the one living it. That hit the air hard. For a second, nobody spoke. Yandy did not react with anger. She just studied Ashley for a moment, like she was trying to see past the panic. You are right about one thing, Yandy finally said. I am not in your relationship. But I have seen this pattern before. Ashley scoffed lightly, wiping under her eyes. Seen it where? Yandy leaned forward slightly. In women who slowly start shrinking their life to avoid upsetting a man who already stopped respecting them. Ashley looked away immediately, like the words landed too close. The other women shifted uncomfortably because it was no longer just drama now, it felt personal. Ashley pushed her hair back and exhaled sharply. He is not a bad person all the time, she said, almost defensive. Yandy nodded slowly. That is how it usually works, she replied. That is what makes it harder to leave. Ashley's eyes filled again, but she blinked fast like she refused to cry in front of everyone. You think I don't know that? She asked quietly. I know exactly what I'm doing. I just don't know how to stop. That admission changed the energy again. One of the women reached for her hand but Ashley did not pull away this time. Yandy softened her tone. Then we start with one thing, she said. You stop responding to threats. Ashley frowned. It is not that easy. Yandy replied instantly. It is not easy, but it is necessary. Ashley looked down at the phone again as if it might start ringing on its own. Then it did. Everyone saw it this time. The same name. Again. Ashley's whole body tensed. The phone kept ringing, filling the silence between them like a warning. Don't, Yandy said immediately. Ashley's finger hovered over decline. Her breathing got heavier. The call ended on its own, and immediately another message popped up. This time shorter. More direct. Answer or I come there. Ashley's face changed completely. Fear flashed across her eyes so fast it was impossible to miss. One of the women whispered, he is outside. Ashley did not answer. She just stood up slowly, grabbing her purse again. Yandy stood up with her this time. No, Yandy said firmly. Ashley shook her head quickly. I need to go before this gets worse. Yandy stepped slightly in front of her. This is already worse, she said. Ashley looked trapped again, her eyes moving between Yandy and the exit like she could not decide what safety looked like anymore. Then from somewhere near the entrance, a commotion started. Voices, movement, attention shifting. Ashley froze instantly. Her face went pale in a way that made it clear she recognized something before anyone else did. Yandy turned her head toward the entrance, then back at Ashley. Is that him? She asked quietly. Ashley did not say yes. She did not say no. She just whispered, he is not supposed to be here, and that was all it took for the entire table to realize the situation had moved far beyond a conversation. It was no longer about rumors or screenshots or messages. It was about what was about to walk through that door. The moment Ashley whispered, he is not supposed to be here, the air inside the restaurant shifted again, sharper this time, like everyone could feel something entering the space even before seeing it. Voices near the entrance grew louder, then stopped abruptly, followed by a short pause that felt too intentional to be random. Ashley's hand tightened around her purse strap so hard her knuckles turned pale. Yandy immediately stepped closer to her side, lowering her voice. Stay right here, she said. Ashley shook her head slightly, eyes locked forward. You don't understand, she muttered. When he shows up like this, it never ends calmly. One of the women at the table stood halfway, trying to see through the crowd. I think that's him, she said under her breath, and that single sentence made the entire group go still. Ashley took a small step back instead of forward, like her body was deciding for her what her mind could not. The sound of footsteps grew clearer now, moving through the restaurant with purpose, not hesitation. Yandy did not take her eyes off the entrance. If he is here, she said firmly, he is not controlling this moment. Ashley let out a shaky breath. You don't know him when he's like this, she replied. He will make a scene, then turn it around like I caused it. Yandy shook her head once. Not tonight. The tension snapped tighter when a small group of people near the entrance shifted quickly to the side. Ashley flinched at the movement alone. Then a man's voice was heard, low but irritated, arguing with someone off camera or just out of frame. Ashley closed her eyes for a second like she was bracing herself. He is here, she whispered. The women around the table reacted immediately, some standing, some stepping closer, all of them watching the same direction. Yandy placed a steady hand near Ashley's arm. Listen to me, she said clearly. Do not run. Do not panic. You are not alone in this. Ashley's breathing was uneven now. I should not have come out tonight, she said, almost to herself. Yandy responded quickly. No, she said, you should not be scared to exist in public because of someone else's behavior. Ashley swallowed hard, eyes glassy. The crowd near the entrance shifted again, and this time a silhouette became visible between people moving aside. Ashley's expression changed instantly. Fear, recognition, and frustration all hit at once. Oh my God, one of the women whispered. Ashley took a step backward again, but Yandy stopped her gently. Look at me, Yandy said. Ashley hesitated, then turned her eyes briefly toward her. You are not going to let him dictate your reaction, Yandy continued. You decide what happens next. Ashley's lips trembled. He is going to explode, she said quietly. Yandy did not flinch. Then let him show who he really is, she replied. The footsteps grew closer now, and the restaurant itself seemed to quiet down around them as more people noticed the situation unfolding. Ashley's phone vibrated again in her hand at the exact same moment, making her flinch violently. She looked down without meaning to. Another message. This one longer. I told you not to do this in public. You always choose attention over respect. Ashley shook her head rapidly, overwhelmed. See? She said. This is exactly what I mean. Yandy glanced at the phone but did not take it. This is control, she said simply. Ashley looked up, eyes filled. It feels like punishment, she admitted. Before anyone could respond, the movement near the entrance stopped completely. Silence followed. Then a familiar voice called out, not shouting, but loud enough to cut through the room. Ashley froze. Every woman at the table turned in the same direction. And there he was, finally visible, standing at the edge of the aisle with a tense expression, looking directly at Ashley like the entire room belonged to their argument now. Ashley whispered, barely audible, I told you. Yandy straightened immediately, her posture firm. No, she said under her breath. You told yourself a story about what happens next. Not what actually has to happen. Ashley looked between Yandy and the man standing across the room, caught in the middle of something that was no longer private at all. The entire restaurant was watching now, waiting for the first word, the first move, the first crack in what was about to become the biggest confrontation of the night. Ashley stood frozen as the room held its breath, her eyes moving between Yandy and the man at the entrance like she was trying to find solid ground in a situation that kept shifting under her feet. The man did not move closer at first. He just stood there, jaw tight, scanning the table as if he was measuring the damage already done. Yandy did not look away from him, her voice calm but firm when she finally spoke. This is not the place, she said simply. Ashley let out a shaky breath, her hands still trembling at her sides. You said don't respond to threats, she whispered to Yandy. This feels like one. Yandy nodded slightly but did not soften her stance. Then we deal with it properly, she replied. The man finally stepped forward, stopping a few feet away from the table. His expression was controlled, but his voice carried frustration. You really doing this right now? He asked, eyes locked on Ashley. Ashley flinched at the sound of his tone, but Yandy stepped half a step forward, placing herself subtly between them without creating a scene. Nobody is doing anything to you, Yandy said evenly. She is sitting with friends. That is it. A murmur moved through the nearby tables as people tried to watch without being obvious. Ashley looked overwhelmed, her voice breaking as she finally spoke. You told me not to talk about us, she said. But you keep showing up every time I try to breathe. The man exhaled sharply, shaking his head. You are embarrassing both of us, he replied. That line landed heavy. Ashley looked down immediately, but Yandy did not let the moment collapse into silence. No, she said firmly. What is happening here is accountability being uncomfortable. The man turned his attention to Yandy now, irritation visible. This is between us, he said. Yandy did not blink. No, she corrected. This became public the moment it turned into pressure and threats. Ashley's eyes filled again as she listened, caught between defending him out of habit and finally hearing how everything sounded when spoken out loud. One of the women at the table quietly said, "This is too much," and another nodded in agreement. Ashley wiped her face quickly, trying to steady herself. "I never wanted it to get like this," she said softly. The man's expression shifted slightly, but he still stood firm. "Then stop talking about it everywhere," he replied. Yandy immediately responded. "Silencing someone does not fix a relationship," she said. The tension rose again, but Ashley suddenly raised her hand slightly, her voice weak but clear. "Stop," she said. Everyone paused. She looked at the man directly now, her eyes tired but focused. "I am not doing this tonight," she said. "Not here, not like this." The man hesitated, then looked away briefly, jaw tight. Yandy nodded slowly, approving of the boundary even in the chaos. "That is your decision," Yandy said to Ashley. Ashley nodded once, almost to herself. The man stayed where he was for a moment longer, then finally stepped back slightly, still watching her. The energy in the room slowly loosened, though the tension did not fully disappear. Ashley exhaled like she had been holding her breath for hours. Yandy placed a steady hand on her shoulder. "You just did something hard," she said quietly. Ashley did not respond immediately. She just stared at the table, exhausted. "I don't know what happens next," she admitted. Yandy answered gently. "You figure it out without fear in the driver's seat." The women around them stayed quiet, still processing everything they had just witnessed. Ashley finally looked up, her voice low. "I think I need space," she said. Yandy nodded. "Then take it." The man stood a few steps away now, no longer advancing, but still present, watching as Ashley slowly gathered herself. The moment felt unresolved, like something had cracked open but not yet settled. And now the truth hits different when you look at everything that just unfolded. Nothing here is simple, and nothing is fully explained, but one thing is clear: emotions ran high, boundaries were tested, and a relationship that looked private is now sitting in full view of everyone watching. So now the question is yours. Do you think Ashley should fully walk away after everything she just discovered, or is there still something worth saving in what is left of this relationship? Drop your thoughts below, because this story is not ending here, and the next move changes everything. Like this video, subscribe for more updates, and tell us what you think happens next.